Good evening, good evening, good evening. And here we are for episode 12 or 11?
11.
11, season 12, episode 11, excuse me.
Rolling right
Um,
along, though.
yeah, it's pumping right along. And for those of you who ask week after week before the show even starts, um, yes, the beeping is back because I was not here to turn it off the way I know how. But I do have plans to take it out of the ceiling
Just shoot it at this
soon.
point. Just.
I mean, I'm ready just to take the broom that I used to poke at it, just knock it off the ceiling. But I'm not sure if it's one of what would be a disaster is if it's one of those electrical ones, because like
Oh,
if
and it's like wired in.
yeah, so then I wouldn't be able to grab it off the ceiling.
It's fine. Just patch it. Just patch the ceiling. Totally fine. Nobody will
And for
notice.
those that don't know who the hell we are, welcome to Let's Have a Fefe. This is your Wednesday night conversation, and I am Felicia Fefe Miner, with the constant beeping of a fire alarm behind me, because I believe in safety.
Right.
Yep.
And I am Freddy Prinze Charming. That actually put some effort into my face
And
tonight.
you're wearing a
Since
wig this week.
I am wearing a wig. It is not one of Marissa's wigs, but it is a wig.
I'm wearing a Marissa wig.
You are wearing a Marissa wig. I don't have a wig like this from Marissa, so this is not a Marissa wig.
Oh, Marissa, get on that. Marissa?
Right?
Marissa, get on that.
Yeah, since I wasn't here last week and then the week
Week before.
before I wasn't able to do shit because of the fucking pink eye that my partner so kindly bestowed upon me. I decided that this would be a good time to actually do something a little
But isn't that relationship goals, like sharing and caring?
if that's your relationship goals, I will not. Okay, I'll judge you a little bit, but your kink is not my kink, but your kink is okay. And if your kink is passing pink eye back and forth between you and your partner, by all means, have at
Do
it.
so. You go ahead and do so. But don't share it with us. Do not
Mm-mm.
share it
Nope.
with us. We do not
No.
want it. I've
No.
had it twice. I do not want it ever, ever, ever,
I've had
ever.
it one time, and it was one time too many.
Yeah. Whenever you hear somebody saying, I have pink eye, run. Run. Wipe down everything that they have touched. They may have looked at it wrong.
If it's in
In
the
your,
general vicinity, just burn it. Burn it
you may
all.
think I'm joking, but yeah, I have had it. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Just imagine somebody deliberately poured sand in your eye, and then sometimes you think there's relief, and then the sand automatically pours itself back in your eye. That's what it feels like. Hmm. Wish that on no one. Anyway, speaking of good things, you can subscribe to our Patreon for exclusive content. In fact, what I will tell you about my day today happened on Patreon first. And so I was going to post on the medias, and then I thought, well, we have people that live for this stuff and they pay for it. So that's where it lives. That's where it goes first. So we like to thank those people that like to hear all the weirdness and get the behind the scenes. We'd like to thank Brandon, Chris and Michelle, Dee, Drake Jensen, Casey Starr, Carrie and Corey, Kim, Joan, Leanne, Nicole, and Shannon for supporting us on Patreon. Special thanks to Wigs of a Kind for supporting us this season. In fact, somebody asked for information on who makes my wigs at the
Oh,
bingo. I was like, well, let me
fantastic.
just
Look at
get you in
that.
touch. Let me just earn my keep. So Marissa, look out for that. A couple people asked me. And a big thank you to Guido, Martin, and Laura Renfro for supporting us um, this season. I did not put I didn't put the Patreon. There's the Patreon. This is now the PayPal one. Support us by donating and tipping us, or just coming to my house and replacing all the fire alarms with a 9-volt battery, which I should be able to do as a standard adult living in America, but I'm not. Anyway, tip us, support us. We appreciate it. I don't know if you got a text this week. I don't know if I planned. I try to do them like I planned them, like on Saturday, so I don't have to remember. But if I did text you, you're here, and you're here because of the text. Congratulations.
I'm sure they're not here because of any other reason. Like they watch
No,
anyway.
no,
But
not just to watch us.
we'll call it the text. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it. You can text LHAF to 602-730-7379. And I will send you a nice little text when, like, I have shows and when we
As long
are
as she
going live,
remembers.
when I remember, or when I remember to schedule them. Yeah. Also, you can support us by clicking the star button at the bottom of the screen there on Facebook. And when you click the star, we get some kind of percentage of cents.
We don't know
Not
what the
common
percentage
cents.
is really, but something.
Somehow we're getting little dollar bills, or maybe 10 cents sometimes, but it doesn't matter. We appreciate your support. Click the star button, we earn money. That's the point. Anyhow, how was your weekend?
My weekend was actually pretty busy. So some folks know, some folks don't know. I was scheduled to present with Teddy Michael at Southwest Love Fest on Saturday. There was a whole ass thing, and they fucked up our schedule, rescheduled. Like there was all the things, and we ended up being scheduled at 9:30 in the morning on Saturday. So my original plan was
I'm
to get
sorry,
up
I'm
at
not
the
even
ass crack of
awake at
dawn.
that time.
Yeah, no, it was my original plan was to wake up at the ass crack of dawn Saturday morning and then drive down. But when Teddy checked in on Friday, he was able to check in early if he traded his king room for two queens. So he had an extra
Oh.
bed and let me come down Friday night. And that way I was able to crash there and not have to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. So everybody's trying to fix your fucking alarm.
It's not the batteries, that's the problem. It's
She can't reach it. It's on fucking vaulted ceilings. She needs somebody with a fucking ladder to go and change. Oh my
or I
god.
just need to stop being lazy and just go get a ladder.
So one thing so a Friday night, right? We went to dinner because we were there, and we're sitting inside the restaurant, and outside is like, and this is very much like a date restaurant. It's like an occasion restaurant. Like there's nobody eating by themselves. Like this is not that kind of restaurant where you go to eat by yourself, right? So
Oh.
a random fly in here. So on the patio was this gentleman who was sitting, and it was kind of obvious that he was waiting for somebody. Like he kept checking his phone. He ordered like a drink and like an appetizer, and then just kind of like you see him checking his phone again, and he kind of looked around. Like it was one of those. He totally got stood up. He totally got stood up, and we were like
Aw.
sitting in this like bay window seat, and we were just watching him, and we were like, "Oh my god!" Like it was
Watching get his
so.
heart broken.
It was awful to watch. It was just like, oh my god. And like at the end of the meal, you see him like he checks his phone one more time, and then he like sighs this massive sigh. It was like, and we were just like, oh. It was sad. It was sad, but it's fine. But Saturday morning, we
Wait, so you didn't, like,
presented.
go over there and talk to him or something?
we contemplated it. We were going to. He wasn't bad looking. Like, he was actually quite handsome, but it was one of those things where it's like, okay, how weird are we gonna make this? Like, he already caught us staring like several times, and we're like, sorry, dude. Couldn't help it. It was right there. We were invested. Um, but Saturday morning, we got up and went and presented how to be a trans ally in bed, which is kind of a uh, version of our Trans Ally workshop, but it's tailored a little bit more to sort of how to interact with potential trans, like sex partners or play partners or whatever. So it was, but it went well. There was a decent turnout, even though it was like one of the first fucking workshops in the morning. There were some good questions asked. Like, it was good. I think people learned stuff. I drove back to Phoenix right after that, which took a hell of a lot longer than it should have because of all the fucking closures on the 10. That was super fun for me. I got home, I took a nap, and then got up, and we got dressed and went to a poly meetup, like garden party thing that was happening at Alwyn House Saturday night. So
Wow.
I was very tired, and it was like there was a lot of people, and it was good. Like, I got to chat with some folks, and it was kind of funny because I'm standing there, and somebody behind me goes, "Didn't you just present at Southwest Love Fest this morning?" This person who actually helped
They
us get,
recognize you?
well, yeah, they helped us get set up because we
Mm.
were like, we needed an AV person, and they were finding us an AV person, and she was like, yeah, no, I helped you find the AV person. So she actually drove after the Love Fest was over that day, drove up to Phoenix to do the thing. It was crazy.
So both of y'all were
um
crazy.
and then Sunday, we just basically worked on some stuff outside and a few things around the house. The pool is getting up and running because it's getting fucking hot. So we are getting that situated because it is basically summer at this point. Because whatever. Oh. I do have some big news though. I do have some big news. Um,
Oh.
as of Friday evening, our youngest apparently has a boyfriend.
Oh.
This was big news. And again, things are very, very different from like teenagers because I remember when I had a boyfriend, I was literally like on the phone with them all day.
All the time.
Yeah.
And you,
She was
like,
not.
occupied the
She
phone.
literally spent 24 hours on the phone with her friend and her friend's kind of boyfriend. Not her actual boyfriend, but her friend.
What?
And I'm like, what is,
Do
I'm
they
like,
know
this
how
is
it
not,
works?
I don't think so. I don't think they know how this works at all. So it's very interesting. And I wasn't home for it. I was already in Tucson. Yeah. So they had to call me with this news because apparently it happened at this dance, and it was like out of nowhere. Hey, do you want to be my girlfriend? Yes, I do. Wait, what? And mind you, I get all the dirt, so I hear who she talks about people, right? So
Mhm.
like we know this kid, but only in the context of like class. Like, she doesn't talk about this kid the way she talks about other people. So it was very strange. Oh yes, and now the middle son thinks he needs to go on a date now. So he asked this girl who he doesn't even like to go on a date, probably because he feels like he's being left behind because now he's the only one that doesn't have a person that he is currently dating or has dated or ever dated. Um, the
The children,
youngest
how old are the
is
children?
the youngest is 14. The middle one is almost 16. So yeah, that was super fun. Oh, and also we got our oldest senior pictures done with Holly in the spiffy new
Mhm.
suit that we got him. And oh my god, they look
Oh, he
so
wore a
good.
suit?
I got him. Yeah, we got
Oh,
him a
yes, we talked
suit.
about this. We talked
Yeah,
about this. Yes.
yeah, we got him a suit, and he looks so good. Oh my god, I can't wait to see like the final products because he looks so good. He looks very dapper, very very dapper.
I don't know if I
But
would call it
yeah,
young love, though.
things have been very interesting in this house. Like, it's very like, what the fuck is even happening right now? Like, it's a whole ass thing. Like, Now it seems to be this weird competition because the other one's feeling it's
Well,
very I
you
don't
have
know.
a
I don't even know what's
boyfriend, and
happening.
I'm gonna have a whatever.
Right. Yo, now you have a boyfriend. Shit. Now I have to ask a girl out. And I'm like, you don't even people. Like, you're terrible at peopling. And you don't even like her. Like, you literally don't even fucking like her. Why in the world would you? It's a
I
whole
don't
thing. This
know.
is like, ugh.
So DJ Image says they're turning into young adults. I don't. So in context, in previous conversations, um, they like talk about politics on TikTok and weird things when they
Right.
hang out
The
together.
right.
And here they are, they have a person that they've deemed the boyfriend, and they're not like on the phone. Whereas versus like when we were kids, if you had a person, you were like glued to the phone, or
Like
as the internet has progressed, you emailed them all the time or you text them all the time.
right.
This to me sounds like, oh,
It's
you're my girlfriend, and now I'm just it's a label, and
he
you're gonna be
apparently
there all the
today
time.
he made her a like a friendship bracelet thing. Like it's very this is things are very interesting in the house right now. Like I don't even know what is happening. I'm just kind of sitting because this is like we don't it's just we're just kind of letting things happen because if we're asked too many questions then teenagers get angry. So we just it is what it is. It's very interesting though. And we're just getting
Hmm.
ready to have like I don't know, lots of copious amounts of alcohol ready. I don't know. It's very strange. Like it was one of these things where she's like, he asked me what my favorite color was, and then I told him this, and then I was like, wait a minute, that's not even. I don't know why I told you that. That's not even my favorite color. Like, what did you even what?
So
There's
are they sure?
I don't think they're sure about anything. None of them. None of them are sure about anything. So, which is
And
why we're just like, okay,
one wants to date just because his sister is?
pretty much. That's what we've determined because he's all of a sudden now it's like, oh, I asked this girl out. I'm like, but you don't even like her. Like you literally don't even like her. Like it just it's a it, yeah. So things are very interesting in our household right now with three teenagers,
Oh, that's very
one who
interesting.
is going to be 15 and going into high school shortly, one who is going to be 16, and one who is already 18 graduating and thinks he's a man now.
Isn't that how it always is?
Mm. So yeah, good times. Good times.
I clearly
It's like
never
a
thought I was a man. I can't even change a smoke detector.
the,
So
oh my
here I
god,
am.
if that's the
Indication of my
of
manhood.
manhood, yeah, no, you're fucked. How was your weekend?
It was good. Spent time with the girls.
Oh yeah, Teddy Michael says we've discussed how this boyfriend is a filler until the real crush becomes available. I think that might kind of be a thing because
Or
I
is it
think
a
that the real
jealousy thing?
crush,
Is it like a
I
jealousy
think
thing?
I think the real crush is kind of sort of dating, but not really dating one of her friends.
Oh.
Mm.
Do they know we're
That's
gossiping about them on our show?
that's my hypothesis. No, they're not allowed to watch because we talk about things that they're not ready to hear. They would
That's
learn
true.
way
That's
too
true.
much about yeah,
I
that's
mean, but they may go back to TikTok and politics, so it doesn't
yes,
really
yes,
matter.
yeah. It's but
Yeah,
yes, they do know that we talk about them. So yeah, it was yeah.
I'm very interested to see how this goes, and I want to
I
know.
will keep everybody updated on the boyfriend girlfriend saga with the
Yeah,
things
and
that are
I'm
happening.
interested to
So
know how the crush feels about this dating situation.
oh no. They don't know the crush is currently dating her friend, but not really
Oh,
dating, kind of dating, but sort of dating, but not really dating. It's a whole thing. I get to hear all of it because I pick her up from school Wednesday, Thursdays, and
I
some
need you to put the
Fridays.
phone. I need you to put the phone on speakerphone the next time this happens, because
I'm
I
just
have
gonna start
questions,
setting up like my GoPro on the dash so that it
and then
records
we can put
us
it on
all the way
Patreon.
home. Perfect.
We can put it on Patreon, and then I can watch it later.
Perfect. I'll just start doing that. I'll just be like, just pretend the camera's not there. Just Share
I do know
away.
if they do the Google and watch the show, they may learn things about us they're never gonna learn.
I
Oh,
was
it's true.
yes. Yeah. Yeah. How was your weekend?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry, sorry, I had questions that off of these comments, I had my own questions. Anyway, we went to this place called Kid Empire. I want to say it's not a bounce around area. It's like I almost want to say it's like the playhouse inside McDonald's, but bigger.
Ew.
Yeah. Um,
I see those now and I just see like germs everywhere.
yeah. Um, and when you have little people that bounce around the house, uh, and they need to get energy out, you do these things. So it was either that or yes. Now we are all invested in this relationship and the relationship that could possibly happen, and the friend. I want to know about the friend and if the friend would be okay if she dated this person. I'm all about it. Anyway, this is how people get hooked on reality shows. Anyway, and so in the middle of this thing, it had a huge slide. And if you don't know by now, I have not ever grown up. Um,
This is
and
why we
I
play
thought,
dress up every week.
and I thought it would be cool to go down the slide with my baby girl.
Oh.
Um, Let me tell you, it was a great idea in my mind. Um, it was not a great idea as I started to go down the slide. As I went down the slide, I kind of tilted and just flew down this slide, which was about like six people could fit on this slide. So it was big enough. And no, I didn't break my hip, but I did burn my arm on the slide. You can't see it. There's a little scab right here, but I burnt my arm on the slide. Um, yeah, so decided for the rest of the evening, this was for the kids, not for the big kid that hurt himself. So yeah, enjoyed that. And then on Sunday performed at Magic at Stacy's, and that was my weekend. But today was the adventure. Today was definitely the adventure. Um, we know how I am about like my nails. My nails were starting to like pop off and break.
Oh, dear.
And part of me is like, so on Sunday they were like at a point where like I could just get by, but the other part of me was like I cannot do another gig with nails just kind of bending off and, risk like these are my nails, like my grown out of my body nails. So when they break,
That makes it sound so weird.
I know.
They're
Um,
growing out of my
they're
body.
growing out of my body. Um, and when they break, they hurt. And so I was like, I need an appointment. And of course, the only appointment that Sabrina had was at 12 today. And so I wasn't sure how this would go because sometimes when I go, my appointments may be at 12, but then maybe I don't get seen until like
Mm.
12:30. And then so I was thinking, "Oh god, what would happen if I go there? I don't want to have to like rush home, put face on, put my body on, and then go do drag bingo afterward because of course it's at 5:30. I have to be ready by like, you know, 4 4:30 because I have to leave. But and so I have had this face on since 10ish.
Jesus Christ.
And the faces that people like their jaws dropping. Uber driver shows up and is just wondering what the heck is going on because I have just the green face, and I'm in a tank top and shorts. So he's like, "What is going on here?" And I just got in the car and acted like everything was fine and dandy. But people that were in the nail shop were like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Don't worry about it." Um, some people were
Underneath
more
your big
curious to
skin.
like when the show was and wanted to see it. So kudos to those people. I like those people. Invite them anytime. I just don't like the people that just like sit there and stare.
And
You're like,
stare.
but yeah. So went and did drag bingo and have made it 2 times. Um, now.
I know. I am
Bingo.
thoroughly impressed. I am thoroughly impressed.
This is all effort. As you know, there are different people around that keep things moving, um, and keep me on a time limit. So it's thanks to this time Michelle and David. David being the constant because he was in the first bit because he was the one like,
Right.
oh, you should start the round right now.
Thank you to Michelle and David for keeping Felicia on track and making sure that she gets where she's supposed to be on time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I just like overbooking myself. It's fine. It's fine.
It's what we do.
But if you want to see pictures of me being a wreck, they're on Patreon for your documentation and your purposes.
Speaking of being a wreck, so my tip tonight has been inspired by the plethora of problematic posts that I have seen on the Facebook the last few days.
Oh
There's one in
my
particular, but there are
God.
also a few others that I have seen, and I'm just like,
Oh my God.
fuck. So,
Can we talk?
someone,
Can we talk
I,
about we talk about we're not inclusive enough? That's my
mm,
preface before you
mm.
start. Go ahead.
So someone shared a profile from a dating app where the person identified as non-binary, polyamorous, gray asexual, and kink friendly. And right off the fucking bat, number one, the poster misgenders her by being like, "Oh my god, girly, what the fuck?" Like, okay, literally says right there that they're like non-binary, so maybe don't, you know. And then the comments on this fucking post, oh my god, it was like, whatever happened to just gay, bi, and straight? How many words can you use to say you're insufferable? She just sounds confused. How can you be kink friendly and asexual? Oh my god, there's like so much. Just on that fucking post, there's so much to unpack. And then there was the queen who is doing her utmost best to erase non-binary folks from the trans umbrella. And the comments on her posts are so telling. It's like people just open their mouths and like stupid just fell out. Like, okay. All right. So
Keep in mind,
tonight.
this person wants to be like nationally
Mm,
known.
right. And I'm like, why this So, all right. So tonight we are going to be talking about labels, language, and learning. First, just a couple of definitions for the people. So, cisgender. Cisgender means that you identify with the sex that you were assigned at birth. That means that stop harassing her. She can go fuck herself. So, the doctor,
Isn't that
when
what
you
she
were
told
born,
most of us to do?
pretty much, or fuck off or stay mad every time. I'm getting to that. So, if you are cisgender, it means that when the doctor looked at you and looked at your genitals and said, "That's a boy," you grew up and said, "I am a boy," or "I am a girl," or whatever it is. You agree with whatever it is the doctor said you were when you were born. Plain and simple. The word transgender means that you do not identify with the sex that you were assigned at birth. It is an umbrella term. Do y'all know what the fuck an umbrella term is? Because seems to me that there's a whole shit ton of people out there that don't know what the fuck an umbrella term is. An umbrella term. It's an umbrella term. And it covers a whole bunch of things. Whole bunch of
All the
things.
little things underneath it.
Whole bunch of things.
All the little things.
So, so this queen, one
Has
of her
she been to
posts,
your workshop?
apparently not. And now she never will because she blocked everybody. So, first of all, she now wants a transsexual pride because she's mad that there's an international non-binary day.
Has she what?
So, we're going to talk a little bit about some history, just as far as language and
Didn't we just
words and things. So, the word transsexual, which you will hear, often you'll hear some older trans women refer to themselves as transsexual. It used to be the word that was used to describe anybody that would use any kind of medical transition, especially when it came to different, bottom surgeries and things like that. But it was anybody that like took the medical steps to be able to transition from one gender to another. Now, the word transsexual was first introduced in German in the 1920s and then into English in the 1940s and 50s. And it was used to refer to people who wanted to change in their physiological sex. Now, the word transgender started to be more commonly used in the 1970s. So keep in mind that neither of these words are new. Okay. And if you look at the context of transgender being used, it basically was used to refer to anybody that did not align with their assigned gender at birth. Anybody that stepped outside gender norms, anything like that. Now, the word genderqueer had some obscure beginnings in some sort of underground magazines in the 70s and 80s, made it into mainstream print in the 90s, and then became a popular term used by folks who didn't fit within the binary gender norms in the late 90s and early 2000s. And if you think about it, so that's been 20, almost 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
25, 30 years that word has been, just the word genderqueer, mind you, has been used. So none of these things are new. And one of the things was like, well, they need to pick one and blah, blah, blah. Everybody acts like being non-binary, being genderqueer, or identifying outside of the gender binary, that is male, female, boy, girl, whatever, is a new thing. They act like it's this fad. They act like, oh my God, it's never happened before. We've never seen that. There's none of the okay. Tell me that you don't know shit without telling me you don't know shit, okay? Because first of all, it's not new. Second of all, if you look at many cultures around the world, there are so many cultures that actually recognize genders outside of the binary, and that's
And
not new.
celebrate them.
Right. And a couple of examples. You have the Hijra in India. You have the Kalalai, the Kalabai, and the Bisu in Indonesia. You have the Muhe in Mexico. You have the Secreta in Madagascar. In the indigenous population within North America, you have the Two-Spirit. And then in the Philippines, you have the Bakla. Like, this is not new. And
And
there
I
are
believe
so many...
many tribes in Africa have
Right. Like, there is there's plenty of evidence
mm,
of cultures around the fucking world where people outside of the binary are not just recognized, but celebrated, revered, and are seen as just fucking normal. Because you know what? They are. Now, I've seen people say that, no one understands these labels. Okay, well, here's the thing. Maybe you don't understand these labels, but the right people do.
mm-hmm.
And before people are like, I don't get these labels. I don't know why we have to label everything. We're just human, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. Without labels, how would you find your community?
These are the same
I want
people
you to
that
think
are
about that
also
for a second.
using labels on the dating apps or the hookup apps. So
It's
maybe they shouldn't be
anytime you
on
walk
those
into
either.
a gay bar or a drag show or whatever it is, that is where you go there because you know that you are going to find your people
There.
because of the labels that are used. Labels
Mhm.
help identify identities, they help you find your people, your community, they help you find partners. And just because you don't know what a gray ace is or what gray asexual means, it doesn't mean that it's not valid because the right people know what that means and they understand it. Like, you don't have to know what it means. And also, if you don't know what it means, a literal 10-second Google search will tell you exactly what it means. Like, this is not complicated. And Ben's right. A lot of times you'll see gender nonconformity celebrated until like outside colonization. And then the white folks done come in and everything is all, you know, went to shit because as one does when the white folks come in. I can say that as a white folks, non-practicing. So when we're talking about labels, like they're not too much. They're not too extra. You know,
Mhm.
gay or bi or straight are very small and narrow boxes to just label yourself as gay or bisexual or straight. Maybe you feel one of those fits you perfectly, and that's fantastic. But it doesn't mean it's going to fit everyone. And in fact, these days, now that there is more language and there is more access to resources, it probably won't even fit most people because most humans are more nuanced than that. Like, my, like I I identify as a queer, poly, pansexual, kinky trans man. Are those too many labels? Is it too much? Probably.
For some people.
But without those labels, I wouldn't know who I was safe with. I wouldn't know who I could be myself around. I wouldn't know, so fuck you if
Uh,
you think these labels are too much.
okay, so I that's not all D. That's just the basic part of it. But I feel like that we as a community are already put into these like you need to be boxes. And so now we're at the gate and telling people how they can use their identities. First and foremost, we've talked about over and over that about sexuality and identities and how they're different. And some of these comments I read, I felt like some people have not had that fair discussion or um, given themselves the knowledge about the difference between um, all of the things. And so I don't know. I saw all the mess, and what made it big for me is the people that don't usually complain about anything, anything, were discussing this. And I love the conversation, but I also, if you know that your friends are not being educated in the comments, we need to
We
go
can do
on and
better. Like, at this point, it's willful ignorance because on that Queen's post, there were people that were trying to educate. There were people that were trying to be. My comment was, here's the here's the deal. Like, I wasn't disrespectful or anything. I was, here's some education for y'all because Jesus fucking Christ on a fucking cracker.
Mhm.
And what happened was, just like with everybody else that tried to educate, we were blocked, and then, or no, we were sent a message that either said fuck off, fuck you, stay mad, whatever, and then blocked. And it's like, okay, but now you're literally just being willfully ignorant. And I'm looking at these mutuals with some of these people and I'm like, are you okay with this? Like, are you genuinely okay with this? Because if you are, that's a problem for
For
me.
me, it's kind of surprising. I don't think I've ever noticed that this person has done it. Uh, I haven't unfriended the person because I wanna see what else is being said, um, in case they decide to go private, which they probably won't. But I also thought for so long, queer people have been shoved into the and truth telling, politics is trying to shove us back into those little pockets so that we don't show up on anything. Um, we are being erased by other people. Why would we
Yep.
do it to ourselves? Like,
There's
w-
a internalized transphobia is a thing, just like internalized homophobia is. Just like when you see, gays against groomers or gays for Trump or log cabin Republicans, these are all people that are literally like they're voting against their own interests because they have this weird internalized deep-seated fear and hatred and disgust for themselves and other people who identify similarly. And it's distressing that we're still dealing with this, first of all, in the 21st fucking century. It is 2024.
mhm.
Like, we are rolling into the second half of 2024. For fuck's sake. Like, I don't understand it. I never will understand it. And the fact that like right, like there's and right and Teddy has
Oh,
said
sorry.
that this queen posts all sorts of clownery, from the comments about transsexual pride to only wanting masculine men for her pageant, a pageant that never happened, mind you. uh so this isn't the first time that she's acted the fool, but now she's doubling down and people are okay with
Mm.
it. And here's the thing is that we see the comments. Just like we've said this before, like we see who comments and we see who doesn't. We see the people that say this is not okay, and we see the people that are like, yeah, down with non-binary people. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're just confused. Like, we see all of this shit, and we see the people that are just like willing to accept it, and they're like, oh, it's okay, it's just their age, it's just their whatever, and it's just that bullshit. If my 80
Mhm.
something year old father can use the right names and pronouns for me, like, no, age is it's a bunch of horse shit. Like, oh,
Oh.
right, and there's this comments on the post about how women need to have breasts to compete. Like, it was a the and like a lot of the
So
cis men on there were basically alluding to the fact that all non-binary people are AFAB. Like, it was a whole ass train wreck.
ooh.
Whole ass train wreck. And every single person that said something to either educate or disagree with were sent a message, told to fuck off, and then blocked. Um and it's, nobody gets to gatekeep identities. Just because you don't fucking understand it doesn't mean that it's wrong, doesn't mean that it's invalid, doesn't mean like it does that's not how that works.
I think that was
Language
my problem. Mhm.
yeah, language evolves just like people. Like, there are words that we use today that didn't mean the same thing that they did even 10, 20 years ago. Like, I don't know if you remember, but back in the day when I was in high school, when you talked about someone's peach, you weren't talking about their butt.
Mhm.
It was another part of the anatomy.
That's why
But
there's
now all
a
of a
song
sudden, a
called
peach
Peaches and
means
Cream.
what? Right. And they weren't talking about the fucking like. If you go like the talking about someone's peach or talking about a woman's peach, when you weren't talking about her butt. But now all of a sudden, peach means butt. I was very confused when I first figured that out. Like, I'm like, wait, what? I
Mm.
was very confused, very very confused. And when it comes to understanding that languages and things evolve, names for things evolve, everything fucking evolves. You can either get with the program or get left behind. And getting left behind means you look like a fucking moron. You look like a bigoted asshat stuck in your ways that's unwilling to learn, unwilling to change. And if you're fine with that, fantastic. Do you. But just remember that freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequence, as a lot of folks tend to find out these days. But otherwise, a little bit of education will mean the difference between people believing you support them and people not feeling safe around you.
I can say that I felt like I myself did not feel supported by the post that we are all talking about. And um be careful how what you say. Um what made me feel this way was because now with the internet, and I know this for a fact because when we first started this show, we had like maybe like 18-year-olds that were watching the show and would see me like at Pride or something. And they would say, "Oh, I watch your show. I've learned a lot." But they would not have known about me, and they would have eaten what I have just now spouted out.
Mm-hmm.
In her case, I feel like that's the same thing. You have to be careful what you're saying because there are people on the other end and they are taking what you're saying and saying, well, she doesn't accept me. And I looked up to that person.
Right.
Now, what do I do with myself? I was feeling confident in how I was identifying. What do I do with myself? This is
It's
a very,
like
it's a very
it's you.
weird dynamic.
And with all the like specifically anti-trans legislation, like you're really gonna try to pull this card. Like this is what makes people say, look, they don't even support themselves. Like look at this, like the queers don't even support the trans folks. Like this is the shit that is problematic. And I'm kind of done with just being like, well, I guess I'll just unfriend them and ignore it. It's like, no, I'm
Mhm.
gonna call your ass out because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. And
Well,
if
and we have to
people,
be careful too because those people are what the legislatures are watching us and
yeah,
saying, and I feel in my heart of hearts, all this chaos and controversy that this person caused, if they're such a title holder, if they're such a queen, then they should be using that energy that they have just now expelled on the world for good. Some of the stuff I see online talking about you did this and you did that and this, that, and the other. There are so many things within that need to be fixed that I just think all that energy that you just wasted,
yep,
you could have done something. You could have created a fundraiser. You could have, I mean, uh, uh, mm-mm. Oh, she works for a nonprofit?
ooh, I hope somebody like took screenshots and like sends it all
Yeah,
to the
and
fucking nonprofit,
we're
please.
working toward a world of inclusion, and this does not scream
Right.
inclusion at all.
Like I need someone to like send all that shit to that nonprofit and be like, hey, this is the person that is working
Ooh,
with you.
well, she
Like
better be
that's
lucky I don't judge her, cause I mm-mm.
like that is
That
absolutely fucking unacceptable.
so that is, like, one of my favorite questions to ask is, how would you say that your behavior is on social media? And while they're answering the question, I'll pull out my phone and look them up.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually a fan of the fact that most pageant systems now, like they're like if it's on social media, it's fair game, and I'm like, oh yes, please.
Well, in the world of government, we call that the public record.
Right. I'm like,
So
if you think that you're, if you're gonna be an asshat, if you're gonna be clowning around on social media and then try to come into a pageant, especially if it's a community title, I am more than happy to bring that shit up. I am not afraid to be the asshole. Sorry. If it makes you
Well,
uncomfortable, maybe you shouldn't have said it online. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you said it. I don't see anywhere where you like apologize, where you took accountability. No, nothing. Okay. Like,
all right.
please let her come back and run for something, and please let me judge. So Phoenix, if you notice the Lady Jasmine, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that fucking out there. If you see the Lady Jasmine come in and she wants to compete for something that you are holding a pageant, prelim, whatever, please, I'm asking, let me come be a judge. I'm very well qualified to be a judge, and I would just like to ask a couple of questions real quick. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Even if I was just like one of those like quick judges, can I make a cameo real quick?
Mm.
Maybe I don't have to be there the whole time. Maybe I don't have to be there the whole time. Maybe I could just make a cameo real quick and then just be like, I just came in for
Or
this
I'll
one
find out
question.
who one of the judges is, and I'm gonna pass them a note and be like, ask her about this.
Hey, so we like to know, like, what the fuck is this?
Right. Mm. Mm-hmm.
And if you're one of those people that is gonna send this episode to her, thanks for the views.
Cool. Thank
And
you.
also, what the fuck?
She
That's
can't do
my
much. I'm
question.
already blocked. So.
I'm not blocked.
Oh, well, then she might block you. Sorry.
Oh, maybe that's why
She'll
I
also
can't find
probably
her.
look to see who's watching and who she hasn't already blocked. But most of us are. Most of the people that are commenting have already been blocked. But so we don't have to worry about that.
Maybe that's why I can't find her. Is because I've been. Am I guilty by association? What's going on?
Probably. Probably.
Oh my god! What a day!
Oh.
That's all I can say is I had today off, and I was like, the internet is buzzing today,
Mm.
and boy, did I find more than I had intended. That is wow.
Oh my god, that's hysterical. I'm
Well,
telling you, this is the shit that we need to
she better put
screenshot these
herself on
things
that list.
and send it. If she does work with a nonprofit, oh my god, like all of these screenshots, all of these things need to be sent to the nonprofit. I am
Oh,
so
wait.
like
So 3
about
hours
fucking somebody
ago, it says, "Keep harassing and bullying me."
up.
This is what D's talking about.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Tomorrow,
That's saying that's
I'm
funny.
gonna go to the FBI building for sure. Some of you think it's funny, but I will show all of you.
Ah! Oh boy, girl needs to reach out to maybe to the nonprofit that she works with and see if they have any resources for like mental health support. Because girl,
Filing
mm-mm.
federal harassment charges.
Oh, okay. Good for you.
Also, she wants to thank each and every one of you for coming out of the dark with your negative replies to her post, and her inbox messages. I thought she was the one sending them out, but
She is sending. Nobody. I don't think anybody's actually replied to any of her inboxes, her
and she
messages.
said, "Yeah, I reported every one of you that actually harassed me. I am sure all of you will get a notification and restrictions." So,
Please go right on ahead.
and
Oh my
promises that we're all gonna go to jail.
god. Okay, I'll wait for that then. That's cool. So fucking stupid. I cannot with these queens. I cannot with these queens. Speaking with things that I cannot. So I'm a. We have a few current events. This one I wanted to
Oh
talk
my
about because it was
gosh.
something that actually like it's applicable to like something that So um,
Oh,
anybody
I
that
heard about
has
this.
anybody that's been to Hawaii, or has spent any time in Hawaii would probably be familiar with what used to be called, or what is called, the Stairway to Heaven. It
Mhm.
is a set of 3,922 stairs that goes up a 2,800 foot mountain in Kaneohe, which is on the windward side of Oahu. Hawaii is removing those fucking steps because idiots cannot keep off of them. They've been closed since the 80s. They were built during World War II. The Navy built them during World War II. It's been closed and like cordoned off since the 80s. But people, mostly people like TikTokers and shit like that, keep ignoring that and trying to climb these fucking steps. Don't do dumb shit. Don't do dumb shit. From my dorm at HPU when I was in Hawaii, I could actually see the stairs. So I'm very familiar with this area. The area is absolutely gorgeous. It was one of my favorite places in Hawaii because it was like the windward side is all mountains and waterfalls and shit. It was absolutely gorgeous. And there are quite a few places that are off limits to people because people keep doing stupid shit. Now, this is why we can't have nice things. And this is why a lot of native Hawaiians have been asking folks not to fucking come to Hawaii. Don't vacation there. They're trying to rebuild shit. They're trying to get their economy back up. They're trying to fix all the damage that fucking idiot tourists have done to different places around the islands. So, like,
Aren't people still recovering from the volcano? Some of them?
not so much that. It's more the economy because the economy is all right now is very heavily based in tourism. But what happens is the tourists come, all the money stays in little pockets, but it
Mm.
doesn't do anything to help the actual like native Hawaiians there. It doesn't do anything to help the actual lay people. The money from the tourism just goes back into the tourist trade.
Oh.
So it doesn't do anything to help like the farmers or the people that actually live there. You know what I
Oh,
mean? That
that's
don't
interesting.
work in the tourist trade. It's a fucking mess. And they've been asking folks, please don't come here. And if you do decide to come here, please talk to somebody about things that you could or could not do, should not do, that aren't just benefiting the touristy shit, but doesn't benefit the actual like state itself. Um, and if you travel, you are a fucking visitor. This pissed me off. As someone that has traveled my entire fucking life and have been to so many different places with like monuments and temples and things, you are a fucking visitor. Don't touch shit you're not supposed to. Stay on the fucking trails. Don't deface things. Don't be clever and graffiti something. Stay off the monuments. Stay off
Hmm.
the temples. Don't climb on shit. Don't do dumb shit. Shouldn't have to fucking say this. Like, I 100% don't blame people for closing things to tourists and asking people not to fucking come to wherever the hell it is. Because nine times out of, and I'm going to say this, a good chunk of the time when something gets fucked up, it's because of an American. We have the
Hmm.
worst fucking reputation when it comes to traveling, and it's because of shit like this.
It's also the sense of entitlement.
Right. I can just do whatever the fuck I want. No, you can't.
Well, our culture has evolved into uh, the Trumpism of I can do whatever the fuck I want. Look at I can get away with stuff. Speaking of him,
Mm.
Trump has reportedly not shown up to.
No, falling asleep.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
he's been there. He's
He's been
fallen
there.
asleep.
Sorry, I don't know what I was talking about.
Right?
Um,
It's right there. You read
I
it.
don't
It's
know.
literally
Yeah,
right
yeah, yeah.
there.
Are you yelling at me? Because I feel like this is not inclusive behavior.
Oh my god. Oh, well, report it to the FBI. Add it to the list.
Trump reportedly fell asleep during both days of his hush money trial. Maybe if we're lucky, he won't wake up one of these days.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm hoping that the trials actually pull through and that we don't have to figure out if he's going to be in position for said position. I don't even want to say it. It's how awful this has become. Um, and curse the people that actually supported his support, who are supporting this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I see all kinds of things on the internet that is just very crazy. The GoFundmes are still going. Uh,
He's a
people that are
supposedly a fucking billionaire. Why the hell would he need a fucking
supposed A-listers are still supporting him. I don't understand. If somebody could break down ignorance and show me facts on why this is a good thing, I would gladly listen, but probably wouldn't change my mind. Um,
No, no,
but yeah.
no.
Read about this. Iran launched more than 300 projectiles at Israel on April 14th. Israel was able to repel the attacks, but their biggest takeaway was that Iran could have killed thousands of civilians. Imagine that. Huh. Keeping in
But
mind,
Chris, oh
keeping in mind that Israel hasn't given two shits about the tens of thousands of civilians that they've already killed. We
like
talked about this,
literally, I read an article. They were like, oh my god, it could have killed like a bunch of civilians.
but they're doing the same thing.
Like
Are we
okay,
not? Are we not watching the same thing?
it's well, I guess it's different if you kill Israeli civilians versus Palestinian civilians.
Is Lady
All
Jasmine a
lives
part of
matter,
their
except
army?
not all
Is Lady
lives matter.
Jasmine part of their army?
Probably. I this is it's so hard with everything. Like, there's a good chance that Iran doing this is going to push things into a major regional war, but also maybe it's what needs to happen so that Israel will stop, I don't know, killing children.
I also
Just
read
saying.
that Israel, excuse me, contracted with Google.
Oh,
Uh-huh. So I'm feeling kind of some kind of weird way, but I
uh,
haven't really figured out how I really feel because I need to read more on it. But if it's true, that means data is streaming across Google to help the enemy.
Israeli government.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's exciting. Jesus Christ.
Good for us. We're doing
Oh
a lot of good things in the world.
Lord. All right. What gigs do we have coming up?
Oh.
Um oh, look, I have a gig, y'all. I have a gig. It's very exciting. On May 3rd, I know. I am in a new show that is going to be hosted and produced by Carmen Side Me. It's called The Secret Garden. To get the actual like venue and stuff, you have to buy tickets. Which I have the link posted on my profile. But it's going to be awesome. There's some great burlesque performers. Myself, Rita Bain are going to be there. It's all sort of garden themed or like floral themed or like so.
Mhm.
I know there's going to be some fun acts in this one, but get your tickets. They're limited. It's a not a huge venue. I don't even know what the actual venue is. But it's around like 16th Street in Osborne-ish. I don't know what's over there, but it's something. It's a secret. Um, so get your tickets and come out and support, especially since I don't fucking get booked in this town. And people always ask me, when are you performing? Here, look, I'm performing. So get your fucking tickets.
Wow. Wow.
You're welcome.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. Um, I guess my next gig is on May 15th. I have a drag bingo at Drink Me Tea Room. And then on May 18th, we're doing something. We're raising funds for Desert Star, the clinic. And if you want to help us bring things back to the way they were, to the 21st century, not 1864,
Mm.
you'll support us in this. We're raising funds for Desert Star by doing drag bingo. Um, yeah, so you can find the links for that on Freddy's page, on my page, or if you go to the Desert Star Facebook page, they have the link there too. And uh,
And then we
uh,
have Fan Fusion is coming up. So for
Yes.
those of you that are going to Fan Fusion, Drag Story Hour will be at Fan Fusion both Saturday and Sunday. I believe Felicia, you're doing the Story Hour on Saturday.
Yes.
Excellent. I am doing the Story Hour on Sunday. Saturday is like fairy tale themed, and Sunday
Hmm.
is like sci-fi themed.
Correct.
So that should be fun. And then, of course, on the Friday on is when the Fan Fusion Drag Show uh, is going to be happening. Um, Drag show and then the burlesque show right afterwards. So if you are going to Fan Fusion, make sure that you make time and come hang out on Friday night because both shows are going to be fucking awesome.
Teddy, yes. I know
It's
that.
been weeks, Teddy. Weeks. Like the beginning of the fucking season.
You're
Weeks.
welcome. It gives us something to talk about. Uh,
Uh-huh.
uh,
Lord.
one day I'll just surprise all of you and you'll be like, it's so quiet. And I'll be like, well, duh, I changed the battery. Duh. You know, every one of you, I'm gonna send a message that says, fuck off. What was the other one I saw this morning?
Mine said stay mad.
Oh, yeah, stay mad. Um, the other thing that I read about, because some people commented and then you clicked on their profile and they posted. This is the part that makes me mad. Um, yeah, so yeah, I'm just gonna make a post. I'm gonna let you comment on it, and then I want you to go and make a post um, about what we're talking about. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
If anything, I feel like I don't know where the hell I am. Just like Teddy said, I don't like it here on Earth. The people are weird, and it just sucks because we're supposed to be like more inclusive with each other. We're supposed to be more accepting of our brethren and our sisterins and our siblings and our nibblings, and we are.
It's literally like the 21st century. The fact that we're still having these conversations is like just
Buffoonery. The buffoonery. Thanks for joining our Wednesday night conversation. Thanks to all who watch live. Thanks to all who watch on the replay. Thanks to all who watch on, um, not watch, but listen on the podcast. And we now have more than 15,000 downloads. So that means
look at that.
somebody's listening
Whoopee.
to us and my beeping. Um, Go I don't know, I shouldn't encourage you to give us 5 stars when I have beeping going on, but I would
Just do it
encourage
anyway. Please, just do it
you to
anyway.
give 5 stars. You just give 5 stars, that'd be great. Anyway, um, we'll see you next week for our Wednesday night conversation. Oh,
Good night.
I won't be here next week.
Oh, that's right. You won't be here next week. I will be here next week, and I'm going to
Yes,
find myself a co-host. Don't know who it
yes.
will be, but it'll be somebody. Yay!
Yeah! Okay, good
Good
night. Thanks for
night.
watching. Bye.